Hello, listeners. Welcome to the brand new series, Humans of CoLlearn, where we chat with students from our cohort and explore their journeys. CoLlearn is an edtech platform that fulfills non traditional career choices through live online, offbeat courses and mentorship by well renowned industry experts in an engaging and interactive manner. CoLearn helps you make non-traditional career choices in a cohort-based setting surrounded by a world-class learning community. We have courses ranging from various fields like multimedia sports journalism to cricket umpiring and sports analytics to name a few. On today's episode, we have Dhanush T, a student from our sports analytics course, here to talk about his journey. Without further ado, let's get started. Hi, Dhanush. Welcome to episode 1 of Humans of CoLearn series. I'm really glad, we're having this discussion and taking a trip down your journey is certainly going to be fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. First episode of this Humans of CoLLearn podcast, and I'm happy to be the first guest. Definitely, it's like more like a honor, first ever episode, and you will only have the first ever episode or first ever thing, right? And it's nice that in this series, I am the first guy coming into this discussion, and I'm happy to share my experiences, share my journey that has been over the last 18 months or so, and it's really looking forward for this discussion and how it's going to be.
Absolutely. And, before we kickstart the proceedings and, just give our listeners an insight, can you introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Dhanush and I'm from Bangalore. I'm a BCom graduate. I just finished off my BCom last year in September 2021. Post that, I had a 11-month course by name post graduation in sports management at the MS Ramaya University, which is one of the most renowned universities in India and one of the biggest universities in Karnataka, especially. And I did my 11-month course as a postgraduate student in sports management, and I was the one of the first batches, and we were only three students in that batch, and I was one among them. And over the last 11 months, during the course of this journey where I was studying this course, I was getting the knowledge on how this whole sports industry works and all these things. I got introduced to a lot of stuff. I got connected to a lot of people, and through which I also got in connection with CoLearn as well. And I did the sports analytics course that we are going to discuss about in this discussion moving forward. And also, I did a number of things that over the last 12 months, and I'm happy to share that. And as far as my journey is concerned, or anything that you want to ask about my journey, it's very small, I can say, because I'm still 22 years old and it's been like 18 years, and you can't tell me your early days or something like that. I'm still in the beginning stage. So that's why I'm really happy to share this whatever journey that I have had till now. And as far as my introduction is concerned, currently I'm a statistician and a graphics coordinator at Star Sports Canada, and I'm currently working in the India South Africa series that is currently happening between India men and South Africa men. And also, I'm working with the Star Sports Canada team since the beginning of Asia Cup that started last month. And that is a primary job I'm doing currently right now. Along with that, there have been a lot of stuff that I've done over the last 18 months, and I'll share those things, and we shall have this discussion amazingly well.
Exactly. I mean, you've done so many things, and I just can't wait to unravel that as we proceed in this discussion. But you keenly follow so many sports as well, right? So, how did your interest in sports develop? And most importantly, cricket, how do you just get into it?
Cricket is something that I've been following from the age of 5, 6. I remember that vividly. I remember the first thing that I remember about cricket is the 2007 India versus Bermuda match in the 2007 World Cup, where India scored 414. I remember that, and then there was this outstanding catch from a Bermuda fielder in the slips, who was like, yeah, he was a giant guy, and he just dove to his right and took an outstanding catch in the slips, and he dismissed Robin Uthappa that day. I remember those are the first memories that I have when it comes to cricket. I've been following since the age of 6 or 7, and since then I have been a fan of it. I've played whenever I have got the opportunity, like in the gullies. in schools and everywhere. And also over a period of time, I moved into basketball and other stuff, other sports, as I was in my high school time. And cricket was not a focus at that time because my school didn't have any specific cricket coaching stuff or any cricket team as such in my school. So I was just following cricket. And over a period of time, I became a huge fan of Harsha Bogle, who is one of the more, maybe we consider him as voice of cricket, right? So that is he was the first person I can say whom I got um, attached to when it comes to cricket. And the way he did the coverage of sports, that is what made me attract towards cricket and made me a lover of the game. And as far as a player is concerned, for me, it's Virat Kohli forever because he represents what Sachin Tendulkar represents for the 90s. So basically, Virat Kohli is someone that I have seen through my growing years, him becoming the player that he has become now. So Virat Kohli, one of the, if you ask me, the player on field who got me hooked into the game is Virat Kohli. So these are the two names that attracted me and made me a fan of cricket. And over a period of time, I just knew that when things didn't go as per plan in my education or stuff, I knew this was the thing I am going to hold on till the end of my life. And it's better if to make a career in this field rather than trying to make something out which is not mine.
That's actually so well put, right? Like your liking for sports and this inclination to cricket really comes through. And this fanaticism has obviously translated in, you engaging in so many stints as a content writer, a business development intern, a video editor, an analyst, a text commentator, so many roles you've done, right? So how have these experiences shaped you and how did you like build on these skill sets?
Building these skill sets, I certainly don't know. I don't have a specific the formula. Like I'm not like, oh, I have this specific thing. That's why I did the text commentary thing. It was just a random stuff that I got. The majorly I got it through. If I can say, LinkedIn was the platform that I can say which got me all these majorly because whatever things that I did, like a business intern role where I went to a football tournament and made sure that football tournament went well. The organizing part is something that I managed in that tournament. It was exactly a year ago, and it was a 3 week tournament. I remember that was my first internship, and I did that football tournament. It was in Bangalore itself. It was a very small club level for football tournament. It was around 8 to 16 teams participated in that tournament, and I did that thing for 3 weeks, and there was no pay for that. That was my very first internship I ever did. And after that, I got connected to Sports KPI, who is one of the analytics companies in India, and they were the ones who introduced me to write articles for fan code for the Pro Kabaddi League, for volleyball games, for a bunch of things, because fan code has been supporting and pushing the content part of it when it comes to providing fantasy articles and all those stuff. So fantasy articles is basically a document where fantasy players can get a suggestion like these players you can select in your fantasy team and you can you can make the best out of it. That kind of article is what a fantasy article is. So basically I started writing content through that. Fantasy articles were the first was the beginning for me. And to push that, I had written contents on my blog. I had my own blog, which I started in December 2020. It was called The Off Stump, and I wrote over 70 blogs. And those 70 articles is what gave them the confidence for me to write for fan code. And I started writing it from the Pro Kabaddi season, and I did a couple of volleyball games that were happening in Turkey. You couldn't even find the stream for those games. It was just randomly through your conception, through viewing the scorecards, score sheets. You had to just make the make the teams out there and give the best suggestion that I could give. And those were the stuff that made me become a content writer. And I did that thing for like 6 months until March, April, until I got this job as a cricket analyst at Kadamba. So that was the major part of it. As far as the video editing is concerned, that was something I got connected through Sports KPI again. Umumba is a big franchise in Pro Kabaddi League, if you know. So they were looking for someone who can edit their match videos and give them 1 minute 30 seconds or these small bites which they could put on Instagram or their social media platforms as small tidbits so that their fan engagement would happen. And that is how I did that video editing part. I did the Humamba stint for the Pro Kabaddi season 2022. For the 22 games that they played, I provided them some video contents, and the video highlight packages were done by me, and that got hundreds and millions of views on their social media platform. It was on Twitter, it was on Facebook, it was on Instagram, and it was on YouTube and all. And U Mumbai is like the second most followed kabaddi team in Pro Kabaddi after Bengaluru Bulls. So it was a big plus for me. After finishing that, it was a big push in my CV altogether, where I did something for a big team. And that is also one more thing that I can say, okay, I can do the editing stuff as well. I know I have that specific knowledge also. And I'm in an industry, this is an industry that I can say that you can't strive here, or you can't go for a long haul with just one specific skill. You need multiple skills here. You need to know how to write an article, you need to know how to cut and edit videos, you need to know how to present a story, you need to know a lot of stuff. And that is how you can move to the next level, you can reach the places that you aspire for. And I guess these experiences, like how you said, there might be 3 4 roles that I did, but those were the things that ultimately got me to start sports and what I'm doing.
That's really amazing, right? I mean, the way you explained the different roles you have done, I'm pretty sure they have really shaped you to become you, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and also, have you always had this inclination towards data, statistics, and numbers?
Not specifically numbers and statistics, I would say. I'm not a keen guy when it comes to maths and all. I was not good in math. So when it comes to analytics and all the stuff, I moreover read the body language of the players and how they approach their innings. Or whenever I was seeing the matches, I was moreover listening to the commentary. And if you see the commentary, they don't spell out the numbers or specifications. They just say how the batsman's bat swing is, how his foot movement is, how his body language is, and they explain the players' physical approach, and how they try to predict how his performance is going to be, right? And when it comes to cricket, it's all about timing and placement and all those stuff. That is the thing that I was attracted towards, and that is why I was more into analytics in those terms. But over time, through the courses that I did, through the sports management degree, through the CoLLearn sports analytics course, and I getting this job at Kadamba, which is a sports analytics company altogether. So this made me get this perspective as well, where I can tell stories through numbers and also give my perspective, give my ideas into the play as well. And it's been a mixed bag where I'm now able to juggle both between my personal opinions and also how the numbers tell. So I can merge those things and I can present some good data for the commentators out there to tell stories during the matches.
Absolutely. And the reason why I asked this question, right, if you're drawn to data numbers, is because you currently work as a statistician for Star Sports Canada and as, a cricket analyst for Kadamba Technologies. So how has that experience been like?
Yeah, one of the first things that I want to say is Kadamba Technologies, where is a company which is India's one of the first analytics company. So there are only a handful analytics company in India, and Kadamba were like one of the first. They came in 2005, 2006 itself. And one thing is, the first people who introduced me to Kadamba Technologies were CoLLearn through their sports analytics course, which I did with Gaurav. That was a very big coincidence in a way. I got introduced into this company, and Gaurav sir told these are the stuff these guys do, and this is how the analytics thing is looked into. And I was like, I just did that course as an academic thing because it was a part of my academics in sports management. So I did that course because it was a part of an academy thing, and I didn't have much. I just looked into the stuff, and I just got a surface level information on what Kadamba technology is. And 3 months, not even 3 months later, by April and May, I started to get calls from Kadamba Technology, and they offered me a job in the first call itself. And from then on, it's been a great journey. I've been with them since June, and it's been 3 months now. And in these 3 months, I've been able to do a lot of stuff with them. First of all, I started up with the Tamil Nadu Premier League League, which happened in June and July. I did the story part of thing. I sent documents, and we basically provided stats and stories for the commentators in Star Sports so that they can use those stats and stories and cover the matches which were happening during that time and Tamil Nadu Premier League. And also a bunch of other stuff for India West Indies series and all those stuff were really good learning experiences for me. I had to move myself from Bangalore to Chennai and live there for a couple of months and get this knowledge and get these stuff, and that in turn helped me to come here to Star Sports Canada and start up with Asia Cup was my first project with Star Sports, and Star Sports was my dreamland. That is where I wanted to be at the end of the day. Now I'm currently as a business partner. I'm not an employee of Star Sports. I am a guy who works for Kadamba Technologies, and I'm coming here based on a project basis. So over time, I aspire to become a full-time employee here and work for these guys and do a multiple roles for them, like how I've juggled myself in doing multiple stuff like video editing, like content writing, and all this stuff. I want to do a lot of stuff for Star Sports. But right now, at the moment, in 1 month that I've been in Star Sports, it's been amazing. It's been a great experience. I had a great Asia Cup. And to tip that off, Virat Kohli's 100 was one of the most special moments for me in my life, because that was my first project. The Asia Cup was my first project, and I still remember the first day when I went to the job. I was like, I manifested Virat Kohli scoring 100 in this tournament. If he scores 100 in this tournament, it's going to be so special for me. It's going to be special for his fans, for the whole nation. But the day he scored that 100 against Afghanistan, it was the most amazing thing, because I was able to give the specific stat, like this is his 71st century. This is his first century after 1,000+ days. Whatever the commentators said on camera that during that specific moment, those were the words that were written by me and given to them. So that was a very special moment for me, and that was like the first moment that I will cherish forever in my life. And that is the day I felt I was like, this is the right place I am in. Maybe I might be way too young. 22 is something that not many people expect to reach. This height is what a lot of people have said to me. They didn't expect a 22-year-old to be with them, because all of those guys are in their late 20s or early 30s, and I'm like a 22-year-old guy being the youngest guy in that room. And I'm always like, okay, always listening to the whatever suggestions they give, whatever opinions they give, and try to make sure I implement it in my work and make sure that I give the best out of it. It's been a great experience these 3 months with Kadamba, with Star Sport. It's been a memorable one. I'm having an amazing time right now. Currently, also the South Africa series is going on, and it's been a great run so far. Now I'm able to sit with the commentators in the com box along with them. You might see commentators on camera when the commentary box is shown. You might see only the two commentators who are talking, but next to them outside the camera, I will be the one who is going to be giving them stats, giving them some numbers, and based on those things, they will do their commentary. And that is a major role, is what we all know. A statistician's job is to make sure that the feed is going on well, the graphics that are coming on TV is done well. And for me, being a 22-year-old, they have put in a lot of faith on me and given me this opportunity, given me this big responsibility. And I am trying my best to fulfill it. And I'm happy that I have done a good job until now. And I hope that with T20 World Cup coming up, I hope that it's going to grow even more higher.
Absolutely. I mean, your story is nothing short of an inspirational tale for so many of us, right, who aspire to be where you are. And now you've also been a part of CoLlearn sports course on sports analytics. So how did CoLlearn, help you realize your dream, and how instrumental has their contribution been?
Yeah, well, one thing, as I said, before the CoLlearn course, I never knew about sports analytics. Okay, I just was like doing a content writing thing for FanCode, doing some business internship thing and all those stuff. And I was in my zone doing this sports management course in MS Ramaya, which is something very out of the blue. Everyone who were asking what you were doing, I'm like, I'm a PG sports management guy. And they were like, what is PG sports management? I'm like, PG sports management, post graduation in sports management. And they're like, with a very wide eye, they're asking, what is this? Something new we are not heard. and they asked me to explain what about it. And I was in that dilemma, whether I'm doing the right thing or not, or something like that. It was a very different stage where I was like explaining to people that what I'm actually doing is something different and it's not easy to understand. But over a period of time, it's going to be a big thing. And in that time itself, I was just doing the whatever I could. I was reaching out to people out there on LinkedIn, trying to get as much connections as possible, because that was the first lesson that they taught me on the first day in the sports management degree course I started. They said you need to build your network, and that is how you are going to get your job here. Now you are going to get the projects and whatever you are going to do. So that was the first motto for me: build as many connections as possible. And through LinkedIn, I got the connections of Sports KPI and all the other content stuff. And gradually, the sports analytics thing that CoLearn we're doing in January, it was attached to my curriculum in the sports management degree. So our college guys informed me that this sports analytics thing, a 1 week course which will be done by Gaurav Sundaraman sir. You have to attend it, and you have to you have to go through the course, and you have to make the pointers. We might give you some, and during the final semester examination that actually happened in May, we had an exam on whatever I learned in that 1 week span. So basically, it was a course where I got introduced to Kadamba technologies, like I said before. That is where I got to know more about analytics and how it helps people, how it helps sports and players and teams in bettering their skill set. It brings the best out of the players, number one, and it also makes the team's performance, and it makes the coach's job also a bit more easy. And they are like, okay, I know what a player can give and what a player cannot give, because that is the differentiation that a coach needs to know. Sometimes you try to find something from a player that isn't there in him, but you are trying out to bring out the best. Instead of that, these analytics thing helps you to segregate what is the best and what is not the best, and you can improve the weaknesses and utilize the strengths in the best manner possible. So it was the CoLearn thing was an introduction to sports analytics for me. And over a period of time, I got the job in Kadamba Technologies. I did all the stuff, and I learned those stuff going to Chennai, living there for 2 months, and then coming here for Star Sport. And coincidentally, when I was doing my Asia Cup, Gaurav sir was also here in Mumbai itself. He was doing the Asia Cup thing for the ESPN feed. So I met him, and he was like, "Okay, I saw you 6 months ago during our classes during sports analytics stuff, and in 6 months you have done so much, and you are here. It's really nice." And he was also really happy to give his thoughts. And I also, over a period of time after I did this course, I made sure that I stay in touch with Gaurav sir, because I still remember when I got my first offer from Kadamba. He was the first person I called, and I was like, "Sir, this is one thing that I've got. I've got this offer from Kadamba Technologies. What shall I do? Should I accept it or should I not?" And he was like, "I've known those guys. They are a very good company." He gave the positive feedback that I was expecting, and the company has in general. And he just said, "Just close your eyes and go join there. Spend yourself in Chennai. That will be a new experience for you. Along with that, you are going to learn this very different thing as sports analytics, and you are going to be trained really well." And that is what has happened. I have been there in Chennai for 2 months. I got myself trained well, and whatever I got assurance from Kadamba in the first call, that they called me and offered me a job. They were like, "I'm going to train you, and we are going to send you to Asia Cup." And they made sure that thing happened. So Gaurav sir also was a guy who gave the positive feedback for me, and he was like, "Yeah, go there and learn the stuff." And also, whenever I was feeling depressed, or whenever I was feeling miserable, a number of times I felt like that when I was in the early stages of my job, in the first month especially, because I didn't expect the amount of pressure coming in. I didn't expect that. And when I felt that pressure, I couldn't handle it, and I was like, "This is something." And I still remember with all hatred and with all I don't know, with all misery or with all pressure in my head, I texted something to Gaurav sir asking, this is a very tough job. This is like this is like that. And he simply said, you need to buckle up. You need to step up yourself. And that is how this job is. If you give it time, it is going, you are going to get adjusted. And that is what happened. The first couple of weeks was tough for me to get used to. But as the time went on, as the progression went, I was able to get myself into this job. I felt comfortable in these shoes, and it was a very good experience. And since then, I've stayed in touch with Gaurav sir. That's been a great communication that I'm having with him. And the CoLLearn course in general has opened a lot of doors, like getting me a job in Kadamba, and in turn, indirectly has helped me come to Star Sports as well. So I can say that not only it introduced me to a sports analytics field, it introduced me to my first job. So that is a very special thing, and I'm really grateful for that to CoLLearn.
This is certainly a phenomenal story, and thank you so much for sharing such insights with us, and even for our listeners, right? Like usually we end up thinking it's a rosy picture there, but you actually gave us like
No,
how
no
you
way.
felt.
There is
Yeah.
no rosy pitch or anything. It's going to be a challenging. It's going to be demanding. It's a very different field. It's a very new field for especially India. If you take this field to United States or any Western countries, they are pretty used to it. Football has implemented this a long time ago. So sports analytics is big there. If you go to countries like USA, there when it comes to NFL or NBA or MLB, all the baseball stuff, basketball stuff, they have implemented this way before. It's been there since early 2000s. So they know this job is a very impactful job, and that is why it has stayed there for so long, and it has become such an impactful thing. And now it has been introduced to India, and we are just like 5 to 7 years into this. And I'm a part of Kadamba Technologies now, but as I said, it is one of the first analytics companies in this country, and they also got the recognition or whatever big deals that they have done with Star Sports or Cricket Australia that they are signed up with. It all happened post 2014. So over the last 7 8 years is when sports analytics in general, especially in cricket, has grown. As far as other sports is also concerned, it is also in huge demand when it comes to football. Indian football is also demanding a lot because I was working for Sports KPI, and they are extensively into football, and they are signed up with a bunch of football teams and who are playing in ISL and I League and all. So there is also a lot of opportunities that's going to come in the coming times. And I also, with now working for Kadamba, we also do for a couple of pro kabaddi franchises like Bengal Warriors and stuff. So we see how Pro Kabaddi is also implementing sports analytics into their regime. In the first earlier seasons like 2014, 2015, they all went by the coach's experience and coach's gut feeling on specific players. But now with the amount of data that are available and with an amount of reach, like every small kabaddi tournament which is happening somewhere in the rurals of Haryana is being telecasted in one or the other YouTube channels, or somewhere you get that stream out there. So the grassroots level is going to be benefited a lot with sports analytics coming in. And I guess grassroots level is something which is not as strong as it should be in India. And I guess sports analytics will give the grassroots the amount of what I can say, the strength and the platform, the foundation. And over a period of time in the next 5 to 10 years, I feel this is going to be a big thing. And it's going to be a challenging job. It's going to be something that is very new at this moment, but in future it's going to be the talk of the town. It is like how the ITs was back in the day, or 10 years ago, how it is going to be talked in that sense going forward, because with the pandemic happening, the amount of knowledge, the amount of focus towards fitness has become big, has grown huge. Kids are going out and trying and making sure that they play at least one sport. Even youngsters who are in their early 20s, they are trying to implement some sport like a marathon or something into their lives. And also, there is some way or the other where sports is going to develop. It's only going to go up, and it needs sports analytics to make sure that the cream of the crop is utilized and the best is brought out. And that is why I feel sports analytics in general is going to be a huge thing.
Exactly. It is imperative that, with the changing times, we upgrade ourselves as well. And, who are some of the people in this field that you look up to, besides Gaurav Sundaraman? And do you aspire to be like them?
Yeah, one of the when it comes to statistics field, let me talk about that earlier later. But when it comes to cricket in general, as I said, Harsha Bhogle is number one for me. Ian Bishop is another name who is a big statistics guy. He comes prepared to every single match. When he does commentary, he's like the most educated commentator out there. And these are the two guys whom I really am impressed with when it comes to inspired when it comes to getting this desire to work in cricket and all that stuff. When you ask me about statisticians who are there in the current crop, one of my colleagues in Kadamba Technologies is Kavin Parmeshwaran. He is a BCCI statistician. He is one of the BCCI statisticians who does matches for international games and Ranji cricket and all those stuff. And he is currently doing for Star Sports Tamil. And he is one of the best statisticians that I have seen because he knows every single stat in the tip of his finger. And I'm really fascinated every single time I have a conversation. If we are just talking about one specific player, he literally knows which innings came in which place at what time and how much that person scored, how many boundaries he scored. Every small detail he knows about it, and he is one of the he is one of the guys I'm really impressed with, and being his colleague, it's my responsibility to step up and perform and make sure that I at least am a half of what he's knowledgeable about. So he is one of the guys that I'm really impressed and inspired with when it comes to this specific field. And apart from that, I'm still new into this job. So these are the early stages of my sports analytics career, and these are the guys who have impressed me. Harsha Bogle, Ian Bishop, when it comes to international cricket and all those stuff, when it comes to the back end stuff, when it comes to the statistician stuff, it's going to be Gaurav Sundaraman sir and Kavan Parveshwaran. These are the guys that I am really, really inspired with.
Yes, and here's manifesting a long career for you too, like these stalwarts. And now we've spoken so much about your journey, right? And what do you think the road ahead for you looks like? Do you have anything that you're manifesting, or something in store for us?
Yeah, the road is still a long way. My mom always says you are just in the first gear. You're in the first level. You're in the first step of the ladder that you are going to climb. Yeah, there might be a lot of stuff that I didn't expect to experience so fast in my life because everything has happened in a span of 12 months. 12 months ago, I was just a BCom graduate who had just got out, finished my exams, and was getting ready for the sports field, which I wanted to look into, put my head into, and get used to. And in 12 months, like how you said, 3 to 5 different roles, working for doing a number of internships, getting a master's degree in PG sports management and all that. There is so much of stuff that I have done. I'm like, it's tough for me to digest that at first place. I'm like, I'm just 3 months into this job and I'm already doing a thing. I'm already in the verge of working for a World Cup. And it's going to be a big task for me. It's going to be a big step up that I have to do from my end. So currently, when it comes to whatever my future aspirations is, I can say at the moment I'm just 3 months into this job, so I have to perfect this job. That is one of the first things that I have to do, and that is the only focus at the moment for me. In the next coming year, I have to become the best statistician that I can be from my end. Like how I said, Kavin is one of the best statisticians I have seen, and even if I become half of his caliber, it's going to be a big impact for whatever services that I give to whatever channels for Star Sports Kannada or Star Sports Tamil or anyone. So as far at the moment, my plans are just to become the best statistician in the next 1 year, and I hope that in going forward, I stretch my wings and see myself not only behind the camera, in front of camera, also like a host or like an analyst or whatever Harsha Bogle has done. He has been a host, he has been an analyst, he has been a commentator, and commentary is a very big desire for me, where I can where I aspire to sit in an India Pakistan match, or India playing in a World Cup final match and doing commentary for that. That is the ultimate dream, and I'm with the amount of pace, with the amount of speed that I have come through till here, I hope that I continue the same pace, and it's going to happen in the next few years for sure.
Absolutely. I know these past couple of months have been a lot for you to grasp, but I can tell, with this conversation that you've come so far. You have so much also, to be proud of. And here's hoping the best for you too.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. It was a great conversation here. I might have dragged in a couple of places. I might have been a lot more elaborate where I could have cut it down. But it was a great conversation. I was able to speak out whatever I have gone through over the last 12 months, where it's just been a big highway. Where if you ask me how's the graph, it's just going up. It's not coming down. And right now, I'm really happy at the position that I am in right now. Able to live in 5-star hotels, getting all the sponsorships out there. It's a different feeling altogether, where you are sponsored for every single thing. For travel, you don't need to worry. There is cars for you to take. For work also, you just need to do your job out there. For accommodation also, nothing you need to put from your end. Everything is looked after. And my job right now is to do my role perfectly. And I just aspire to do that. And whatever I have done, whatever stories that I have shared in this conversation, I hope that the guys who are aspiring to become sports analysts or trying to make a career in this field will get you, because I promise you one thing, that if you stick on to this, and if you get networking is a very important thing. If you network with people, connect as many people as possible, and that's the only way you can make sure you can go forward in this field. You need to know multiple skill sets, like how I said, you need to be knowing content writing, storytelling, you need to be knowing video editing, you need to be having multiple skill sets. You should have a capacity to present sports in different varieties, and that is how you are going to go along in this field. So I just tell those people who are aspiring to become sports analysts or anything in this field of sports, grab as much knowledge as possible. Stay in this course. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be a lot. There is going to be a lot of steps to be taken, and it's going to lead to a very good end of the tunnel, where is going to be a bright light, and you are going to have an amazing experience in the long run, is what I can assure.
Yes, Dhanush. And on that note, I'd like to thank you, for joining me on this episode, sharing such lovely insights and sharing your story, right? It really takes a lot. And this has certainly inspired me, right? And our listeners too will definitely resonate with your story. And here's hoping the purple patch continues for you. Here's wishing you the best for all your ventures, and may you keep soaring. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, listeners, for tuning into this episode. And you can check out CoLLearn's website, thecolearn.com, to see our courses and enroll in them. This episode is available on YouTube and all leading podcast platforms. Please share this with your network as well. Until next time, stay safe and take care, listeners. Bye for now.